Hello, everybody. I'm Tracy Priest with the Road to Retail, and welcome to our episode. We're calling our new kind of podcast right now the Founder Series. Bruce has taken a little bit of time off away from our podcast, but he will be back in the next couple weeks. And we've got some really great interviews coming up as well, which I think that you're going to enjoy. But for today, we've got our guest co-host Krista Anderson. So, Krista, introduce yourself and tell our audience a little bit about you before we introduce our distinguished guest, Maria from the T-Spot.
Hello, everybody. I'm the founder and CEO of Healthy on the Go, an international food brokerage company based in the US and France. And our mission is to help create a preventative healthcare system by making healthy foods more accessible to people. I'm also the author of Claim Your Healing and currently living my best life in the south of France.
I love it. And I'm Tracy Priest. I am not in the south of France. And I've been in consumer packaged goods for 30 plus years in sales and trade marketing and a multiple of functions, and just have a heart for small emerging brands. And so that's really the purpose of our podcast, is to really interview founders and also provide insights and content for those small emerging brands as they enter into the retail space. And again, we appreciate you joining in today. And I want to introduce our distinguished guest today, a good friend and colleague of mine. I've worked with Maria in the past on her brand, The T-Spot. And Maria, welcome, and thank you so much for being on our podcast today. We really appreciate your time. And Maria, why don't you just tell our audience a little bit about you and your brand?
Thank you both. Yeah, no, I'm so excited to be here with both of you. As Tracy says, I know him well, and I'm meeting Krista for the first time, which is very exciting. I am also not in the south of France, but I am in the southwestern United States in New Mexico at the T-Spot Santa Fe workshop. Our company is based in Colorado and now has a development and product presence in New Mexico. I have been doing the T-Spot business now for 19 years. My background before that was in technology. I'm by formation an engineer, and I primarily run the company and design the teaware for the company. We are a company of just short of 40 people based in Louisville, Colorado, and develop, source the ingredients for and manufacture a variety of tea blends. And that's why I'm excited to meet Krista, with the mission of empowering people's wellness through tea. So that is our premise, and that's what we're based on. That's what's behind every blend that comes out. Something that I often tell people is that I wouldn't present a blend or a tea to a customer that I wouldn't feel perfectly comfortable serving to my kids, who are now adults, but still I care about their health, right? And we donate 10% of all of our profits to wellness. We used to do this exclusively for cancer survivors and cancer wellness initiatives. And now that we've gotten bigger, we needed to find kind of more outlets in order to be able to accept some of our donations. So we work in partnership with Charity Water, a nonprofit that brings clean water to people in need. So we target rehabilitating wells in areas that are known to be tea regions. So for instance, we, in 2022, our donation helped rehabilitate 12 wells in Uganda. This year we're working on wells in Malawi. So these are all areas where tea is a very important part of their national GDP.
That is awesome. Thank you again, Maria. And you just have a great brand and a great story. And just, I love your passion for wellness. So thank you again. And Krista, I'm going to let you kick it off with the first question.
Well, Maria, I'm happy to connect with you. I understand you're a fellow road cyclist and cancer survivor. But one thing I don't have on you is you have developed three, innovations, inventions?
A few, yes. Prior to working at the T-Spot, I did at technology companies, but At the Tea Spot, we make everything from ceramics, that this one no longer has the filter in it, it just has the tea, to, kind of simple steepware. This is, for instance, just, a water bottle with a tea filter inside. Most recently, we developed something which is picking up a lot of traction this year, both through our sales and on Amazon, called the Craft Cold Brew Filter. And it's literally a different lid for a mason jar that turns the mason jar into a tea pitcher. So the lid has a filter in it, and it has a handle with kind of easy grip, rubberized sections to make it easy to pick up. It can work even with a 64-ounce mason jar, 32 or 16, and any wide mouth mason jar. So we love making innovations as well as in our tea blends that make healthy tea more accessible to people. So it's all about that. It's about meeting you wherever you are in your day or in your health journey. And there are so many different ways in which tea and herbals can just help ameliorate your overall wellness, whether that's your mood, your sore throat, your immunity, you name it. There's a tea that probably can make that moment even better. So that's what we strive to do. And that's what those innovations are for, just to make healthy, fresh tea easy.
Well, I love what you've created, so thank you. For our listeners, what would you say is the best advice you would give them, like a small emerging brand just starting out?
So definitely know yourself, know what you can do, know your limitations, and know the market that you're getting into. I hope that anyone who's starting any kind of an enterprise thinks that it is the absolute best idea in that realm and that feature that ever has been made, right? Otherwise, you're not going to have the energy to push it through when necessary. However, we do sometimes have blinders on and realize. So one thing, for instance, that I didn't know when I started the Tea Spot was I was already very passionate and bought into tea and its benefits. But wow, in our 19 years, we have been educating customers nonstop. So that was perhaps something that I didn't foresee, and that was a very important part of what needed to happen. So I think knowing as much as you possibly could, and would I perhaps not have done it if I'd known that ahead of time? I doubt it. I probably still would have gone forth with it, but I might have set myself up a little better to be able to educate people off the start, instead of assuming that everyone is like you, Krista, and already doing everything that they can in their everyday life to improve their wellness. So tea is kind of an underserved product in the States and North America. So it has a lot of growth potential. Worldwide, tea is the most consumed beverage after water. And in our country, it's about fifth. So worldwide, people consume about 3 times as much tea as they do coffee. And in North America, it's the reverse. So we consume 3 times as much coffee as tea.
Right.
And it's interesting, like, for instance, if you come into a Starbucks in Shanghai, you're like, whoa, we're not in Kansas anymore. It's like tea, and then espressos. So clearly that's not the kind of message that you're hit with in a Starbucks in New York, or even in Paris. Yeah.
I love that. So I think what I wanted to recap a little bit is, for our audience, is you have to be passionate about what you're doing. I love your cause. You have a mission, right? So I think that's a great message that I'm hearing from you, is be passionate and have a message, and that really a product that improves people's lives. Now, you can't always do that, right, in a product, but I think that's really a critical piece for our small emerging brand audience today. Be really passionate about what you're doing and really have a mission. And I think Chris and I have talked about this. You have to have a story these days, right? You've got to have a brand story to tell, because that's what consumers are looking for. And Maria, I mean, your authenticity and your passion comes through when you talk about tea. And that's such a critical piece. Wouldn't you say, Krista?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely, it's tying the heartstrings to consumers with your story and your mission, and really authentically wanting them to be well because of your life experience. So it's incredible.
And I might actually even follow up with that and say the story can bring a consumer to you and perhaps undoubtedly help build brand loyalty. However, the product needs to work and needs to be delicious if it's a consumable. People, something that I learned from kind of our big corporate brother in our Colorado area, Celestial Seasonings, right from when we started, I was asking, is organic important? Which it is to us, it isn't to them. And the reason being, they said, it's all about taste. People repurchase if it tastes good. If it doesn't taste good, it doesn't matter what that product is going to do for them. They're not coming back. So yeah, so flavor and, clearly with widgets, they need to work, right?
You've got to deliver. You've got to deliver. Otherwise, you're not going to get the repeat purchase.
If it's not the mug that I reach for every day, I'm not going to buy another one for my friend.
Right. And on the road to retail, what Bruce and I talk about is it's not about sell in, it's about sell through. And your product is not going to sell through if you don't deliver, on the taste and that the product delivers.
That's such an excellent point.
Yeah. So second question is, and Maria, you and I have kind of been through a few battles ourselves together when we work together. But what mistakes would you tell a small emerging brand to avoid as they start their brand? Obviously, you've got 19 years of experience doing that. Give me the top 2 or 3 mistakes that you look back on and go, wow, I wish I would have known that then what I know now.
Well, one good one that we learned with you, actually, Tracy, is it's better off to stick to your own backyard when you're building a brand and to not be seduced by a big placement, but that's far away until you have that kind of national brand recognition. If you have a nice looking product, something which seems pertinent, someone with an interesting tea set, but who's very remote to your region might want to pick it up. But that's probably not the way to start, because also things are always going to go wrong. And perhaps before the pandemic, this was even a more accurate statement, but it really helps when you have feet on the street where you are. And it's different when you can establish those relationships with both consumers and your buyers in person than when it's remote and far away.
Such a great point, because we talk about that also on our podcast. Start regionally and grow it from there. We run across brands from time to time that their first customer is Walmart or Target, and they're national before they have tested their logistics, their supply chain, anything like that. So it can be
challenging.
It can be. That's a dangerous.
It can work, and here's where it's tough to not want to do that, is because we all, read the news, read the business news, and read about the brands, the 1 in a million brands who did start at Walmart, and then fairy tale story, everything goes brilliantly.
Sure.
That is. I don't want to say it's misleading. It does happen. It's not a likely outcome.
Right. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, good. Well, that's great. Great insight. I love that. So in recap, start in your backyard, start regionally, grow from there. And I think one of the things Maria said that I loved is know your consumer, establish that relationship with your consumer, and also establish that relationship with your retailer, your regional or local retailer. We've had numerous examples of, a Northeast brand who, gets distribution at Bash's in Arizona. Well, no one's going to know what your brand is in Arizona because you don't have a presence there and you don't have your brand established there. So that's just another example.
Yeah.
So, Krista, thoughts and question?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've learned over the years is you kind of get one shot, at opportunities, and the chances of getting back in and going on the shelf again in the future is much lower if you kind of failed on the first time. So yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. So what mental checklist should a small or emerging brand go through to get ready for retail, or to know that they're ready?
So something that the first thing that comes to mind is to make sure your packaging is correct. Even if you've got a great product, I think of many examples, some of which are our own, some of which are other brands whose product.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She froze.
And this is a live podcast, everybody.
Yeah,
Welcome
absolutely.
to Retail.
Yes, exactly. Uh-oh. We were doing so well there and got through. Oh, there she is. All right. We got you. You're good.
So, packaging. Begin again.
Hang on, it's telling me I'm unstable, but I don't. Let me just take a quick look at this one.
I think you're okay.
Okay, all right.
You're
But
good.
yeah, packaging, you really can't check it enough, and definitely have a professional, have an FDA attorney, professional kind of retail packaging person, an FDA attorney. There's so many times that if we know our product well, we're putting it in a package, we will overlook something like Tracy doesn't drink tea. He's trying green tea for the first time in his life. He's likely to not steep it correctly. And if I don't make it very explicitly simple and clear as to how and why you need to use this product, it's going to give a bad user experience. The other thing is, don't overcomplicate the explanations, right? If I'm in the store and I pick up a product and I read the back of it and I think, oh my goodness, I don't have that kind of a frother or that kind of a whisk or mixer or a special kettle, for instance, like a temperature controlled kettle. We like to, since we require or ask of people to steep our teas in different temperatures, water, you might be inclined to say, steep it to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, to a lot of us, that's like, well, what in the world would that be? So on our package, we say, boil the water, wait 3 minutes. So it's just so that makes it a little bit easier, boil, pour, wait 3 minutes. Just all of those little things that can guarantee you're not there to lead them by the hand. They're not there. You're not there for them to hear your passion when they're trying your product for the first time.
She's got good still photos.
She does. She does. This is why we call it live TV.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
You're back. You're back. Good. So
all right, we'll wrap it up, Tracy.
Packaging is key. I love that. So tell us your greatest success in your career. What are you most proud of? This is gonna go down in history. I love it. There we go. You're good. All right.
Sorry, it says I'm good. It doesn't appear to be falling out, but yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. So tell us about your greatest success. What are you most proud of?
I'm not huge on that. I hope that my biggest success is still in front of me.
Oh, awesome. I love that. Great answer.
What I'm most proud of in our company is that we are a Best for the Community B Corp. And we have amazing benefits, a 401k with a 5% company match, and then profit sharing at the end of every year. I feel that we've created an environment where employees get to share and feel as though they're truly not only participating in making the company more successful, but that we participate in their well-being as well. That's the most important thing to me.
That's awesome. I love that. And your passion for your people and your brand really comes through. And that's why we wanted to have you on this on our podcast today. So Maria, as we wrap up, first of all, thank you again for being
Sure.
with us today. And then tell people how they can reach out to you.
Probably the best way to reach us is either emailing info@theteaspot.com, or the best way is to follow us on social, either Instagram or Facebook, and DM us on either of those channels. We're very responsive. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Krista and Maria. Again, we will post this interview with Maria shortly, and continue to follow us on our Road to Retail page. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and also YouTube. Thank you again for joining us today. And thank you again, Maria and Krista. This was great insight, and we appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
take care.